I see your demons, I'm telling them it's on sight. I'm just playing, I don't fight, I do pray. I only go the way of Mr. Yahweh. Try to correct me.
Welcome to the Profitable Cleaner. Were you a guest before?
Yeah,
So I was
right.
a guest,
This is your second time.
with just James. You weren't part of it the first
Oh, you're welcome, man. Just kidding. So sorry you had to deal with that. And just kidding. No, man. So for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about you. And this time's a little bit different. A lot has changed since the last time you were in the podcast.
Yeah, a ton has changed. Yeah. So my name is Edwin Eaton. I'm the owner of iPro Building Services, Blueprint Janitorial Consulting. And I told my wife this today because she's here, but you know, being on the podcast with you guys or with James the first time, actually my consulting side actually started to take off. It was almost like street cred being on a podcast with you guys to do that. So I wanted to thank you guys. For that,
thank them. You could do it to a camera and be like, thank you, Profitable Care Community. That's your camera right there. Look.
Right there.
Over here.
Yeah. Right there.
Boom.
Yeah. And then, you know, on the shirt here, founder of Cinch Janitorial Software. And so it's awesome. Again, you guys gave me an opportunity to sponsor your guys' podcast, which is huge too. So that's going to be launching. Actually, it's launched now. We're kind of in beta testing mode, making sure everything's working before we bring it out to market. So.
Yeah. By the time this releases, for sure you're live. You're ready.
We'll be live. Absolutely. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, I think since day one, you've been, I don't even know how we met, to be very honest. I have no clue. Do you know how we met?
I have no idea. I just remember seeing you on LinkedIn.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I remember seeing you on LinkedIn. I remember you putting out a bunch of content, and I was like, wow, there's actually substance here. Yeah. There's not always substance around janitorial content that gets out there. And we connected. We did the podcast, and actually I did some research before this show. You're one of our most downloaded podcasts ever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So like across all of our platforms, that first podcast that we did, it's probably because Angel wasn't on.
Right. It was just
exactly. Yeah. And you know a little bit of football, so that's good.
I still have the Russell Wilson one, but you don't need it anymore.
Yeah, that's right. And let's not go there.
Let's not. You're a Seattle fan, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys will be good this year.
I was telling James we were here a couple of years ago for the playoff game, and nothing against any Cowboy fans, but they were brutal. They won after the game. That's funny. They were throwing beer bottles and everything at us as we walking away. So
Dallas is red. Yeah, Dallas is wretched. But I was going to say Texas in general, because even the Houston fans are pretty bad.
Yeah.
But they're looking good. So, but let's not talk about football, because we know that if the three of us get starting to talk about football, the whole podcast would be about football. Yep. But I'm just going to ask one more question on football. Who wins the Super Bowl in 2024? Who's the new Super Bowl? What do you think?
Man,
or matchup?
That's tough. I mean, I want to say my Seahawks, but they're not ready yet. I don't think they're going to get there. But I don't know. I would say somebody probably out of the NFC West. So whether it's the Niners, I don't want to say that, but the Niners or maybe the Rams.
The Rams could sneaky. Yeah.
I'd rather have it be the NFC West than the AFC West because I can't have the Chiefs do it again.
they get a bunch of speedsters now on defense. So listen.
Hey listeners, real quick, this is Andrea, executive at Profitable Cleaner. We have listened to your requests, and instead of having you wait 1 year to be in community through our event, we're putting together the Profitable Cleaner community. Want to learn more? Text JOIN, that is JOIN, to 720-594-6125 to join our waitlist. Now, back to the show.
Well, listen, let's get into it, man. What I would love to do is, of course, we're going to give you time to talk about Cinch, but how was Cinch born, though? Because it came from some tribulations, problems, issues, right? And I've noticed that from recommending you people. I love recommending you people, right? We were just talking this last week. There's a lot of common issues that people are going through, whether they're small or it's usually small or medium sized, that they tend to overlook and then they kind of try to correct later. What are some of those mistakes? How was Cinch born?
Yeah, I think it's pain points is what I like to call them. They're just pain points. And so Cinch really was born. It wasn't to give out to the masses, right? It was just for my own company with the pain points that we had. And so there's a ton of different janitorial software out there. They're all great, right? I'm not doing anything different. I'm not reinventing the wheel. But I think what's kind of missing is the simplicity of it. Mm-hmm. So you'll go to my sales guys and it's like, hey, one of the sales guys is my son. And, he'll come to me, Dad, like, I got to go to this tab and then I got to go back to this tab and then this tab to be able to get this. Like, there's got to be an easier way to do this. So I kept hearing these things. And then our quality control inspector is doing inspections at night. Like, there's just so many steps and different processes to do this. So why can't it be simplified? So I thought, okay, let me talk to some people and see if I can make my own system.
Yeah.
And I had talked to other places and, the one market I think that's being left out, and I know it's a lot of your subscribers and a lot of listeners, are brand new commercial cleaning businesses, right? So brand new to $3 or $4 million. Mm-hmm. I think they kind of get left out. And so you got to spend a lot of money for software that there's things that they may not need. And so to me, it's almost like they're overpaying. Plus cash flow is pretty tight for them, especially given the way that the market is right now. So we've tried to make something, again, that's simple, easy to use, and that's not going to strap them for cash. So it's going to be very affordable for them. Yeah. They'll be able to grow with Cinch as well if they sign up with us. And so Cinch is just another word for simple. And so my wife actually came up with that, and it just kind of stuck with us, using it as Cinch. But yeah, so, we've done things as simple as a create a bid button, and it just walks you through the process. There's no jumping back and forth. It just takes you through and you see the progress as you go. Your proposal is done. I mean, you can basically, as long as you know the price, and we have the calculators for that, you can create a proposal for janitorial, for floor care, pressure washing, final construction cleaning, window cleaning, in literally less than 30 seconds, as long as you know the price, and then everything's pre-generated in there. It's all, you can edit it. You can put in your own, terminology, whatever you want to put in there, but everything's already set for you there.
There's a constant, I don't want to say battle, but there's always like different, let's call them methodologies or theories. And there's one that's like, don't use softwares that help you bid or help you quote that have pre-populated prices, because maybe that's not the correct. But what would you say to someone like that? Like, there's the old school that are like, no, you should know your numbers and you should create your numbers. And then there's the use the softwares, right? Yeah. What would be the argument to both?
Well, you have to know your numbers. And so, again, talking with the consulting side of things, it's like a lot of people, they don't know that they need software, but they actually do. And so, somebody came to me and they said, hey, I just need your assistance on this big account that I have. It's the first large account that I have. Here's the price that I came up with. Perfect. How did you come up with the price? Well, this other person that I talked to, they've been in the industry for 3 years. They said, do this and times it by 2. I said, okay, perfect. Do you know what your tax rate is in there? Do you know what your overhead is in there? Do you know how much your profit is in there? They had no clue. So having a calculator is going to break that all down for you. And that's what I've learned over the years, right? You got to know your payroll, your taxes and insurance. There's got to be a percentage in your bid. What's your profit? You actually have to know that if you're making money or not, right? And that's what I see. A lot of new commercial cleaning business owners are coming into it, and they don't know the numbers. Yep. And they almost throw out a cheap price. And then in the end, they start doing it, and then they realize they're not making any money. Yeah. So it's really important to have it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying software in general, but just to have some type of calculator to double check your numbers.
So let's turn this into, like, I love that. I think you're right. I think most people don't even know. And in the beginning, you do need that calculator. You need that support. You need to, like, have a base of something. Right. Like you said,
I have notepads filled of just equations that I'm trying to figure things out in the beginning. I mean, I still have those, and I show my sales guys. I'm like, what is this?
It's my formula.
Basic arithmetic. Yeah. It was my formula to come up with the price.
Yeah. Oh, man. I want to make sure that, like, so if someone's listening to this and they're like, okay, well, all right, I'll use, I don't know my prices. I don't know. I'm barely getting started. What are some recommendations you would give them outside of getting a software to help them out?
I mean, YouTube is huge, right? YouTube has everything on there. If I could go back when I started and really looked on YouTube to see it, now, granted, not everything is legit that's on there, but at least gives you a starting point to, if you come up with your number, go to YouTube, do your research that way. There's always something online that you can do. There's free calculators online as well, too. But
what are like some healthy profits, or is there profit strategies? That's what I wanted to ask. Like, because I've heard people like, these Facebook groups, 40% or you don't win. And then there's some that are like, no, the average is 6. And then there's some people that are like, I'm down to take, like, I've had mentors say, like, I'll take a loss on that account because I'll leverage that account to do X or Y.
Right.
And they're like, so I'll play the long term on this one, right? Yeah, or to take a loss, and so that my company can say I'm losing money, and it's okay to me too.
Yeah, I mean, you see that, but you get, the smaller the account, the higher the profit percentage. And then the bigger the account, the smaller the profit percentage gets. Yeah. But then again, it just depends what market you're in. Like Washington State's one of the highest minimum wages in the nation. And so we have to pay more to get the right people on board. So our prices are going to be higher. I mean, there's no exact science to it. Yeah. I mean, we try to stay, as low as 20, upwards of 30% on janitorial accounts. And then floor care, all your tag work, I mean, that's going to be a higher percentage that you're going to get, where you're going to make some extra cake on top of that, right?
And sorry, last question here for me that I if you're a new cleaner, would you rather win the business at a lower percent profit if you're new, or would you tell them no, don't win it unless, like most people don't win it unless it's 30% and up, 20% and up?
I would say if you're brand new and you're going to win it, as long as you're making money on it, I think it's a win because you're at least going to get some money flowing in to get started. Because in the end game, that was me in the beginning. Take on anything, take on these one time a week accounts, even if it's a 10%, 12% profit, and then get that money saved up so you can get yourself an employee so you don't have to do that, and then start working on bigger accounts for higher margins. But I would say in the beginning, as long as you're making money, you're okay to start.
Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. And time again, we hear from companies across the board, big and small, like, one, I don't know if I'm making money on that account. Right. Or two, like, I just found out after servicing this account for 18 months that we've been losing $200 a month on it. It just got lost in their client list or whatever. I want to talk about janitorial business evolution. So you said in the beginning, you'll take anything and everything. And obviously, you guys have expanded to what you are now. When does the game start to change, do you think, in janitorial? And at what level do you start being more strategic with the accounts you're signing on and maybe adding tag jobs or were tag jobs day one? Just talk to us about the evolution of a janitorial company.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You go from the one time a week accounts and then they start to grow to 2, 3, 5, 6 days, 7 days. And what we found is probably after about the 2-year mark, it's like, okay, we're expanding in other areas. So these one time a weekers, we're not really looking for those anymore because, you know, you might get a one time a week for an hour a night and it's $600 a month or something, but the profit's not going to keep the lights on. So then it's like, okay, we need to change and we need to focus on these larger accounts. And so now, you know, we don't take anything less than 3 days a week. We really want 5, 6, 7 days a week. And we want a minimum of $1,650 a month because we know that there's going to be X amount of profit that's on there that's going to pay for other things, right? And so we want to make sure, but, you know, next month, July, is going to be 11 years in business. And so it's like we kind of know now where we need to be profit-wise, where before it was like, okay, we're just shooting for the moon. We want these 4 days, 5 days, 6 days a week accounts.
But and at what point did you realize, like, okay, let's start transitioning? And then what, since you've been in business 11 years, the follow-up question would be, what's next for y'all?
Well, I think what happened is like after the 1.5 year mark, you know, I'm into data centers and we got lucky. You know, what is it? They say the harder you work, the luckier you get. We got lucky. I mean, we were busting our butts. We were working hard. All of a sudden I get a call for a data center, you know? So it's like, we didn't even have time to kind of adjust and say, okay, we're done with these one time a week accounts. It's like, okay, here you go on a silver platter. Here's a couple data centers for you. And then it was a whole nother thing to learn at that point. And then at that point we were just off and running. So you never know. I mean, you could be stuck in 2, 3, 4 years of really hustling and working until you can get those right accounts, or you can just get lucky and then here you go, and then go run with it and then start evolving with that.
What was the hardest part about starting, like going from 1 to 2 week accounts to a data center that you're probably cleaning daily, and they probably have like some crazy restrictions and stuff?
Yeah, it's like night and day. Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot too. I mean, it's basic janitorial for the most part until you get into the server areas. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing new to learn. It's just on a bigger scale. Yeah. And so where you might have an account that's 1 or 2 hours every day, these accounts are 8 hours to 12 hours or 24 hours a day. And then that's the front end. And then you go to the back end, and then there's all this other stuff that goes along with it. So the learning curve was, it was huge for us. I mean, it took us a while. And so, I mean, we've been in the data centers now for 9 years. And so it just, I mean, I would say we're doing a great job because we went from 1 to 5 to 7 to now almost 50 data centers in just this one cluster. So
wow, that's awesome. That's called taking over a market.
Yeah,
right there, or an industry. Mm-hmm. So we just talked about kind of like account evolution, right? And one of a common comment I see on our YouTube and just Facebook groups here, ours personally lately, is like team evolution. And a comment that keeps coming to my mind is like, when do I know and how do I know, like, to set up my managers and all of that? You guys have a great culture at iPro. I see you guys highlight employee of the month and, like, You'll give a shout out to an employee that's been with you for 3 years. And I love it. And it's like a very genuine post.
And you're also regional. So it's not like you have everybody with you in the office
yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, we don't.
Exactly. So talk to me about like the team evolution, because you're like, hey, day one, I'm going to take a 1 week account. Like you don't have a management team, right? So 11 years in now, you've developed a team. Talk to us about that scale and evolution.
Yeah, like what would be the steps? It would be like manager first, then operator, or like how did it evolve for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, it was just my wife and I. And so we were taking those 1 time a week, or even we started to do some residential because we just weren't sure. We were trying to
figure it out.
Come up with an identity, just figure it out, right? So we were doing both, and we were doing final construction cleaning. And I mean, there's times my wife and I were jumping in and out of houses because they were laying concrete down. So we were jumping in and out on the side of the houses in between. And it was like, what are we doing? Like, we just need to focus on one thing. And it's like commercial, I think, is, I wouldn't say easy is not the word I want to use, but it's not, residential, you got sometimes the homeowners in there.
Yeah.
And things like that, where commercial is more laid back. You just do your thing, right? So I think evolving is, it was her and I. And then again, we got lucky with the data center. So it was like, okay, we start hiring people. And then we had a manager that was in-house that was an employee of ours that we started to kind of train a little bit. And so I kind of put it on steroids, and it's like, okay, you're going to shadow me. I'm going to show you what needs to be done. We went down there. We literally moved him from where I'm at in Wenatchee, about 300 miles away to where these data centers are in the middle of nowhere, right?
How did you sell that vision to him? Because you just sold him you just took him from there to like go in the middle of nowhere, please, so you can be a manager of a business that's not even like big yet.
Yeah, we weren't like established. Right?
Yeah. It's like, hey, risk it.
He was a young kid that had drive. And I say young kid, he was 24 years old, 23 years old at the time. And he had that, you could just tell. My gut just told me like this guy's got it. If I can just tweak him and train him the way that I want it done. And he's been off and running on this thing. And literally, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to micromanage him. I just check in from time to time. I might have a question why he went over budget on supplies. He's like, well, did you forget we started another data center? I had to do this. Yep, gotcha. Okay, I'll stay out of your way. You do your thing. But, and as you evolve too, I think the biggest thing that people miss the mark on is it's about the clients, right? Because they pay you. But you got to have the employees.
Yeah.
You got to have the staff to take care of those accounts to be able to get you to grow. And you mentioned LinkedIn, and I think people miss the mark on this, right? Social media is huge, and it's free, and people forget about that. And so, but it's the message that you put out there, right? It's the story that you tell. And so for us, we started out with Employee of the Month, and cool. The first couple of them, it was great, and then they started quitting the Employee of the Month. What's going on? We got to the 4th Employee of the Month that quit. Finally got in touch with her. I said, what's going on? Why are you quitting? You're a rock star. You're awesome out here. What's going on? It's just the tension that's created with the staff. Like this person thought they should have been Employee of the Month. This person did. So there was resentment from the staff towards this person. And she's like, the other Employee of the Month felt that way too. So rather than confront and, make a big deal about it, they just left and went elsewhere. So I thought, what the heck? So what can I do differently so there's no resentment there? So I thought, okay, maybe we can celebrate birthdays. But then there's some religious groups that don't celebrate birthdays. So I thought in my head, am I going to start? Is there going to be some resentment there because they're not being recognized for something when other people are? Then I thought, you know what? Anniversaries. Nobody can be upset about an anniversary because that person put that time in, right? And so we started that. And it kind of started slowly, and then it just kind of evolved itself. And, it took off on social media. And, last year I had an opportunity at a data center that I could never get into for the last 8 years. Wouldn't give me the time of day. Followed me on LinkedIn. He reached out and said, hey, love the culture and the way you take care of your employees. I think it's time we sit down and have a chat. Came in, had a chat with him, gave me the walkthrough. He said, here's the scope of work, and here's what the current cleaning company is charging me every month. Like, what? Like, that's a game changer right there.
Yeah.
And he said, we love the staff. We love them like family. We just don't like the company that they work for. We know you're going to be a little bit more expensive, but we know you're going to take care of them and you're going to treat them the way that they should be treated. So here you go. That's like, here's the keys. Here's the keys to the BMW.
And it was all because he got a sense of your culture through the free platform of LinkedIn.
Exactly.
But you said they love the staff. So that staff had to leave the other cleaning company and come work for you, or were they working for them?
No, it was just a transition. So their final day, then they just transitioned the next day right to us. So
that's crazy, man.
I know that was, maybe I might be overthinking this, but so basically, is that common?
It's not common. I would hate if I was that company.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But this company never checked in with the employees. They never did anything. Like they didn't have.
So the employees were also down. Like it's almost like management of the building talked to the staff and say, "Hey, we're gonna let them go." But
it'd like me coming to you, hey, Angel, we've been out of gloves for 3 months now. What's the deal?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get it to you, and they never do.
Yeah.
And so it's just the treatment of the employees, and so
the employees were down to leave that company too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So it's like next day, boom, they had to travel 35 minutes to our office to do orientation, and they were down with it. You know, they're like, let's go, and then. You know, we put things up on the big screen, introducing them to everybody, and they felt welcome as soon as they came in. So we try to do things like that, right? And then uniforms. Not everybody gives out uniforms, but people feel part of a team.
Yeah,
when they're doing that. But the crazy thing is, after we picked up that data center, that manager who wouldn't give me the time of day for 8 years went and told the other data center across the road about who we are, and it was the same company that had those employees, and they had the same issues there. He called me up, and it was the exact same thing.
Wow.
So we got 2 data, and I'm not talking about little money. I'm talking about big time money with these data centers. And it was just from something as simple as posting anniversaries on LinkedIn.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today's episode is brought to you by Cinch. If you're ready to take your commercial cleaning business to the next level, we have you covered. Maybe you're struggling with how to bid, how to create professional-looking proposals, or just how to ensure your customers' accounts are actually being cleaned at night. Introducing Cinch Janitorial Software. Cinch is a simple, user-friendly software that eliminates these types of struggles that you probably know all too well. Cinch simplifies your entire process and will supercharge your success because they remove paperwork headaches while creating a scalable, efficient, and profitable cleaning business. Get your free demo of Cinch at cleancinch.com. They're here to turn your business into a success story. That's cleancinch, CINCH.com. It's simple. It's Cinch.
How much did it impact your business through those data centers?
Huge. Yeah. I mean, in terms of like value wise, we're talking big time.
Did you like double, triple from where you were?
Not that big,
okay,
but a substantial amount.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 6-figure plus,
totally.
Nice. Actually 7 figures between the two of them.
Totally.
Yeah.
There's we just had a podcast guest on who, ironically enough, he's a dog trainer, but he was talking about behavioral patterns, and he said the micro things you do lead to macro moments. And it's like we might view sharing an anniversary and honoring an employee is a micro thing, but that led to a macro event for your company. I have a question for you, man. I've always got a good sense of leadership from you, and you said, yes, it's the clients that pay the bill, so they're important, but I have to keep my employees and my team happy. I heard a good mentor say, my employees' goal should be client satisfaction. My goal as the CEO is team satisfaction. And I thought that was really awesome. What do you do to develop as a leader? And like, where do you go to just continue to learn as a leader? Because I can...
Other than our podcast, of course.
Other than the Profitable Cleaner. But no, all jokes aside, like, what do you do for personal development that you take back to your team?
Yeah, no, I think it's who you surround yourself with. You become who you surround yourself with, right? Good or bad. And so I have a core group of people in my hometown who I'm friends with, who are entrepreneurs, who have their own businesses, who have multiple businesses. And so we meet one time a month, and we sit down, and we'll even bring in people that are just starting their businesses, and we'll just kind of, just shoot from the hip, and we'll have drinks and we'll have food, for them. And we'll all just kind of banter back and forth, tell them about our stories, and then help those businesses. But we help each other out too. And so, I've got a buddy he's in automotive, plus he has a real estate, deal that he does. And I have questions about certain things, and he'll let me know how it is, right off the bat. And then just other guys that we have within that group. And so we kind of look at that. Just as of last year, hired a life business coach.
Nice.
And he's a local guy, but his name is Fletcher Ellington. I'll give him a shout out. His number one selling book on Amazon is called The Art of Feeling Good. And so his book is huge, but he comes and he preaches that about feeling good. It's not so much about how to be a manager and things like that. So I brought my staff in as well, and he'll just come in and just tell us how to deal with certain situations, how to deal with it, how to make yourself feel good when you come into work and things like that. I didn't believe it in the beginning, but one of the core guys in my group he'll tell you how it is, and he'll tell you if he likes it or he doesn't. He didn't like the concept of this, and then he got onto it and he saw a difference. And this guy is like, F this, F that kind of thing. And now he's all, well, I'm so sorry that happened. You know, stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, you changed. He's like, I said, all right, I got to give it a shot and let's see what happens. And it's been great. So, but you have to have those things as you start to evolve, and you have to grow, because otherwise it's going to be status quo with you, and you're not going to continue to grow if you don't elevate yourself.
I think there's a level of like grace that we have to evolve into as business owners and entrepreneurs that you don't see in a lot of places. We were just talking about that too with another guest. He's like, everything's very cutthroat. Everything is very like intense. Sounds like your guy was very like intense like that, like cutthroat-ish. But now he like, after the feel good coach or the life coach, it's like he's changed, and that helped him evolve even more. Who have been some of your mentors here in the cleaning industry that you personally would love to give some recognition to?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few in the beginning. I mean, Ed Selko. Yeah, he helped me out in the beginning.
Shout out Ed Selko.
Yeah, you know, and I've been dealing with Mark Anderson lately as well. Mm-hmm. He's in Seattle, just outside where I'm at. So
I love Mark Anderson.
Yeah, and I mean, really, again, through social media or anything like that, even if you haven't met him in person, right? We didn't meet in person, but we somehow knew each other, and through LinkedIn. And so I'll get people that are asking me questions, and I'll reach out to somebody and I'll ask them questions as well. This person might know more about how to utilize subcontracting than having your own employees or something like that. So I'll shoot them a message, set up a call, and then, you know, kind of go from there.
You've always been very welcoming to anybody that I send you. I send you a good amount of people, decent. No, I could do better. So if you need help, let me know and I'll connect you. Don't go to him directly. Go to me and then I'll send you. No, I'm just kidding. But no, on the real, you're one of the people that like answer fast. It reminds me of a lot of me. Like when someone texts me, they need help, I'm like, you're like right there. Not everybody does that. What motivates that side of you? Because you could easily say, well, listen, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I've got X businesses, I've got 3 right now that you just talked about. You love football, but yet you're still making time for these people. And it's almost like you're prioritizing time with them sometimes too. Mm-hmm. What drives that?
The fact that I was in their position. And before I met Ed, I was reaching out to people and I wasn't getting any responses. And so that's why I had the notebooks and the notepads of everything, right? Nobody there that I could run my numbers off of to make sure it was right, or ask the questions to see if it was right. And so I understand the frustration. And so if somebody really needs something and they're asking for help, they obviously need it, right? So I'm not going to wait a day or two. Even if I don't have time, I'll just reach out to them. Like the last person you sent my way, I just shot him a text, you know, back and forth, said, hey, I'm busy, but I've got about 30 minutes in this time frame. We can talk something quickly, and then we can set something up after that. But I at least want to touch base with them. It's the same thing with our clients. You know, we want to make sure we take care of something. But I also think, you know, I was in that position. I didn't want to sit and wait. I didn't know who to go to. Now, I mean, there's just a ton of people that you can go to, to ask for help. But yeah, it's the ones that can respond quickly that can get the. I'm impatient. Yeah. So I like to have an answer right away. So.
Absolutely.
You treat them how you want to be treated. Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you this too. Anyone listening, be careful where you get your information from as well.
That's true.
There's so much. I actually heard Grant Cardone like 10 years ago say that. He had a chapter in his book, and it was like, be careful where you get your information. And it was a really good like segment of this book, because when there's so much content out there in your industry, you can almost be misguided, not on purpose, just on accident. So yeah, someone like you, like I said, from the start, there was always substance to the content you were putting out there, and then backed by the action of just being responsive to people. And I can tell you the 2 people that you just gave a shout out to, Ed and Mark Anderson, those are some of our go-to guys early on when we were learning about the industry.
Yeah.
Actually, Ed gave us the time. He was maybe the first like big time guy to give us the time and day, and then Mark for sure.
But these guys are big time guys and they're busy.
Yeah, 100%.
And they still have the time.
100%.
Yeah.
And we're still all great friends. I mean, Mark Anderson's going to give our VIP masterclass at Cleaning Profits. So he's going to, I was just texting with him today. So he's been instrumental to what we've done. But so let me ask you this, because you're right, they are busy. You're busy. we're busy, but sometimes you see things in people. What do you look for in people when you're down to mentor them?
Good
because
point.
Now I'm thinking, I'm like, why did they give us their time? Why did you give us our time? So it's like, what do you look for in people when you're down to pour yourself onto them?
Yeah, a lot of them lately have just been brand new business owners, and they're lost. And a couple of them actually came back to me and they said, well, we found this mentor online, and they said that we could end up making $1 million in 6 or 7 months.
Oh my God.
And I said, do you believe that? Like, if it was that simple, everybody would be doing it.
Then get rich quick.
And I think for me, it's not, what do I look for in them? Honestly, I'm just going to tell them how it is with me. I'm going to be real with them, and it's going to be up to them whether they want to use, my services and listen to my advice. Right. And, luckily a lot of them do. And they'll book multiple times with me to go over things. They'll even just call me really right away. I need to go over these numbers on something with you.
Yeah.
But I think that's cool. But then, like with Cinch Janitorial Software, it was like, I went to Ed, I went to Mark, I went to all these people, and they were quick to come back and give me their honest feedback. And, when I see them giving me honest feedback, I want to be the same way and be honest with these guys just starting up. It's like, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't even think about that. It's like, oh, you got the juices flowing. Can we talk some more? We want to do, and so that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking to put myself out there for them, not so much what I'm looking for in them.
What's up, Profitable Cleaner listeners? Quick question for you. Are you using 5 to 7 different platforms just to manage the everyday operations of your commercial cleaning company? If so, let us help you consolidate that into one platform. Introducing you, uSource. Go to usource.com, book your free demo today, and actually get started on your trial for 60 days. No charge for 60 days, all from time and attendance to reporting, vendor management, operations, sales. It's time you stop using 5 to 7 platforms and consolidate into one. So listeners, don't forget, go to usource.com and start your account today.
But, we've gotten just recently some major universities that have contacted me out of the blue, just kind of blew me away, like, what's going on? And it was, we need to figure out if we need to go in-house or outsource it. Well, I'm not talking like a little university. I'm talking about like a major university. Yeah. And just, I don't get nervous when I get into situations, but this was like the president, the vice president, the athletic director, and they're all on this Zoom. And I'm like, holy cow, like this is legit, right?
Yeah.
And so things like that. So it's, again, evolved, right?
Yeah, the evolution, man. I love that. Actually, speaking about evolution, 11 years in the janitorial industry, you were kind of experiencing these inefficiencies, let's call them, which is what brought Cinch to the forefront. Talk to us about, all right, commercial cleaning owner, now software owner. What's that transition or evolution been like?
Tough, stressful. I mean, it's a whole nother industry. Obviously, I got into janitorial industry. I knew a little bit about it because I did some stuff in college, but then it's like you kind of learn your business as you go. Yeah. And it's like, okay, but then you get into this world of SaaS. I didn't even know what SaaS stood for, right? So now I do, but there's all these terminologies that they're throwing at me, and I have no clue, and we're working with web dev. It's like, what's that? Oh, that's web developer. Okay. And then you got that, and then you got the designers, and I have OCD. And so it's just been a lot of back and forth. Like, I want it to look this way. It's got to be perfect. Like, hey man, it's just software. You don't want it to be perfect in the beginning, and it's crazy. I mean, if I could go back and say, would I do it again? I would change up a few things of how I've done it. Yeah. But I think the end product, and people are going to see that, whether they sign up or not, they can at least take a look at it. I think they're going to appreciate it. We tried to make it clean, simple. Everybody's used to social media, right? So we tried to make it like a social media site. Everybody already knows how to use that. I've got some guys on my team that are in their 60s, mid to late 60s, and they had flip phones. Now they have smartphones. And with the mobile app, it's like, one of them's like, it's simple, man. This is easy. Yeah. I said, yeah, that's what
it's Cinch.
For. You want to make it easy.
Are you going to make Cinch a verb? Like, are you going to try, like, are you going to use that in the copy somehow?
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. If I were you, I would. Like, make it oh, that was Cinch. I don't know how to make that happen, but that would be.
We did some fun commercials that we filmed not too long ago, and we kind of did that. It's simple. It's a cinch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Cinch.
I'll give you some behind the scenes, old school business talk from our end. So we're sales guys at heart, and when we first came into the industry and we saw all of our clients' proposals, we were like, these suck. Like, if we're just being like. They'd be 27 pages long, and like, what are we looking at, right? And we're like, let's create a proposal software. That was actually like, this was a legit idea. I'm so glad we didn't, because there's people obviously much smarter than us out there that's hitting a portion of that. But I've always felt like there was a need in specifically just talking to the sales side, to where you can quickly pull up whatever software and send a proposal to the 3 a week account that's just simple for the prospect to understand. Yes, it needs to be simple for us, the user, but like so many proposals are convoluted to the prospect. And it's like they just want to see scope, price, and then you're going to win the business based on the relationship you had. And the proposal is just the transaction of
So you're telling me you want to see it simple.
Yeah.
Simple.
I just want it simple. So the fact that you're bringing this to the table, man, is actually something we've always had this feeling about for like 4 or 5 years. And to see you like,
what are some common mistakes that people make in their proposals that you made sure you didn't put in yours?
Yeah. Some of them are just too short. 1-pagers where you've got just, again, simple, just the price and the scope of work, but there's other things you kind of need to see, right? So we've added, obviously we work with a lot of data centers, so there's certain things that they want to see that's in there. But instead of like a full paragraph, it's just a couple of sentences that are in there. They want to see, make sure you have insurance. You obviously want the acknowledgement piece where they're signing on it. You want to have the scope of work broken down. But instead, it just tells them about our team.
Yeah.
There's a welcome letter that's in there. So I think total, depending on how big the scope of work is, I think it's like anywhere between 8 to 12 pages.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of
can be done 8 to 12 in that speed though. That's badass.
Yeah. Again, everything's pre-generated. Yeah. And obviously, if you look at it, it just all makes sense because again, this is years and years of us doing this, and then you can just change things out and save it, so you've got that as your template for next time that you do something.
I hope we have. We should have a link or something.
Yeah, I'll get you guys set up to take a look at it. It's crazy. I haven't done that for you yet.
Check out the show notes. The link to Cinch is going to be there to either book a demo or create an account. I don't know how it works. Book a demo or create an account or both.
So if you sign up, you get a 10-day free trial.
Boom.
And then so for all the listeners, created a code for you guys and your listeners. So it's TPC 50.
TPC 50.
So the Profitable Cleaner 50. So
boom.
You save 50% off. Your first month for the first 6 months, you save 50% off. And so again, we talked about earlier about how we're trying to make it affordable. Mm-hmm. So, you get everything, from the CRM to all the proposals, the scope of work, the inspections, the work orders, the scheduling, everything, the mobile app. And so that's $89 a month.
Guys, we need to get 100 people to get that.
That's right.
And so that's
100 companies.
And that's with 10 users. And you can have unlimited customers that you're coming in. And then if you do more than 10 users, it's going to be, it's going to be like $5,
sure,
an extra person that you're putting on there. But again, for the smaller businesses just starting up, a lot of them don't have,
of course,
10 employees, right? So it makes sense. So, but you think about it, $89, but with the code TPC's 50.
Well, yeah, you also don't need your cleaners on the app. You don't need.
Right. If you don't have them. Right. Yeah.
No, so. I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, to be able to really look at your inspections, your sales, and just simplify the operations and your proposals in one spot, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And so if you guys are listening to this, smash that link below. Let's get 100 companies signed up. Show them some profitable cleaner love. And I'm saying this right now, I don't think there's many better leaders than you in the industry because you've actually done it, right? Like you've been in the trenches. Yeah. Started with the 1-day-a-week accounts. Now you're doing these data centers and on calls with universities. That's the evolution, and that evolution brought you to Cinch.
Exactly. Well, and I think you're also very welcoming because is there a lot of leaders that have been successful in the janitorial? Of course, but to teach somebody and to mentor someone is different than to run a business, right? They're because you're not getting paid. Like we've talked to a lot of people that are successful, and they're like, no, like I'm down to mentor, but no, like I can't do it. It's a different level of weight, it's a different level of energy that you need to pour. So it's like you also are very good at it. I remember sending you Beth, and I think she got a contract or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, we're actually meeting up again next week." Cause
she's
got a contract.
I don't even know. I forgot.
But I tried to tell him, up front. I said, "I'm just going to be completely honest with you. This is who I am. This is what I'm about." So they understand, and they can determine whether they want to work with me or not.
So we're about to do something crazy, right? Because we also, for those that are listening, we're gonna interview his daughter. Yeah, he brought her. That's what happens when you bring your kids and your family to a podcast. I'm like, they're jumping in here. And here's what I want to ask before we go into that. Here we go. Ready? It's going to be a speed round, kind of. Your top 10 rules. My top Edwin's 10 top 10 rules for commercial cleaning. To be successful in commercial cleaning, top 10 rules. It could be... No, not to her. Imagine I'm like, bring your daughter in. What? How do you be successful running ad? Just kidding. No, your top 10, we're not going to do life yet, just top 10 commercial cleaning or top 5 commercial cleaning rules. That you personally go, check this. I always check this number, hit this, do this, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest one is just to know your numbers. Well, that's obvious. If you don't know your numbers, you're not making money, or you could be making more than you thought or losing a ton, right? So that's number one. Number two is just to create that culture within your company. Because again, to get those numbers, you got to have people to be able to make money, right? So those are kind of the two. Really, for me, those are kind of really the two biggest things. And number three is to have fun. Yeah. Right? So you've got that, have fun with your employees. So like, you know, I looked around here, there's snack bars and stuff like that. And that's what I see everywhere.
They have a game room around the corner too.
Yeah, I see a game room. So that's what I've done in my office. I put some arcade games that are in there. I put snacks. I put, you know, a fridge in there filled with, you know, energy drinks and all kinds of stuff for them. And so we have fun. We have a basketball hoop that's out there. And I'm busy, like you said, obviously, but I'll take my time when the staff comes in too. Even if I can't communicate with them, I'll go out and have some fun with them, and I'll greet them when they come in. I know that, you know, this person, he drinks Monster every day, so I'll grab his Monster when he comes in, and I'll grab him, you know, a snack that's out there, get it ready. Yeah. I'll banter back and forth a little bit with them. But yeah, know your numbers, have a good culture, and have fun with it. I think those are kind of the main things.
Love that.
What's a low-key rule? Like someone that maybe like those hidden rules that you're like, I actually never talk about this, but there's an additional rule or advice, it would be this one. Maybe that goes unnoticed a lot of the times.
Well, I think what I tell my staff is your gut usually tells you good or bad on something. So I would say trust your instincts, trust your gut. That's going to tell you where you're going to go. I mean, starting a consulting business, I was like, do I really want to do this? But my instincts was saying do it. My wife's there like, seriously? You know, let's simplify our lives. Like, okay. Oh, now you're going to do software. You know, it's like, but for some reason, I just felt like I needed to do this. So yeah, I mean, it's just trusting your instincts.
By the way, you have a powerhouse of a family, like very respectable, very nice. They were at ISSA. I remember seeing them. Yeah. How do you sell her on the vision that you have? Because obviously she looks at you and you're like, oh, now I got to do consulting, software, and I'm going to do this. And she's probably like,
You know what's great is she saw it in the beginning, you know, my wife did. And so she actually quit her job.
That's right.
You know, in the mortgage industry, quit her job and was selling eBay. So right there, it's like I knew she's going to support me when I do this. And
did you see she was selling eBay?
She was selling corsets on
eBay. I remember that. I remember that story.
Is that before you guys were like, how big was the business?
No, we were just starting.
So she quit.
She quit her job. I said, "Listen, I'm going to leave what I'm doing, and this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. I think I can make it work." And she's like, "Okay," because she was still selling eBay kind of on the side, and she ran the numbers because that's what she does. And she says, "Listen, I can help you in the business, help you clean during the day if I need to, and take care of this because I know it's going to pay our bills."
Yeah, dude.
And so she did that. And so even though she'll tell me how it is, right, and she might disagree with it, but we still come to some type of agreement in the end that it's going to work. So she doesn't, you know, she didn't want to have to do all the paperwork and everything for that much longer. She wanted to be there for our kids, right? So I said, okay, we'll get to a certain point. Let's make it work. And what's funny is she ended up hiring people from the bank that were her managers to come in and do her job that she was doing. So now she gets the flexibility to take care of the kids at home. She'll still work from home at the home office and take care of things. But now it's like...
Talk about a risk though, huh? Like most people are like, no, don't leave your job or... you know, have some income. She's like, or
let me burn the ships.
Let's burn the ships and go all in. And she did it while running her a different side business.
Yeah,
and
it was scary for her.
But it's cool to bet on it. And then now you guys are, not saying you guys are set, right? Because I know there's more that you guys want and need. But I mean, y'all just came down to Dallas as a family.
And she's able to do it. And she enjoys it. She's like, okay, I'll go with you down to Dallas. This will be fun. So
I love that.
Yeah, dude, it's a great story.
You said it. Bet on yourself, right? And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people won't take the risk. And if you don't take the risk, you're never going to know if it's going to work or not.
Yeah. And she bet on you too. That's a different level of pressure too, right? Like, all right, you think you can do it? I got you. Let's go.
So we make a great team. We do. We really do.
I love it. How long have you guys been married?
Gosh, this year is going to be 16 years.
He's like, I can't miss this question.
I know.
But, when you guys do your...
let's edit that.
do your event every year, I tell Angel all the time, it's during our anniversary.
I don't know. I'm starting not to believe it. When's the... Because the last event was in October. This one's in September. Somehow they're all in the anniversary.
We're right at the end of September, so we usually go...
I'm just kidding.
The week of or, the week after.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So that's kind of my thing with her. Because she knows how busy I am, I make sure I dedicate
absolutely
to us.
Yeah,
as you should.
Just like the business, you dedicate your time with your employees and everybody.
Absolutely.
Rumor has it there's a lot of layovers in Denver. Like Denver is actually a hub to go anywhere.
We've actually been talking. I need to get out to your guys' event. I do.
What if I told you this was the last one? Would you go?
I probably would, but I can tell. Look in your eyes.
Well, we got your ticket right here, man.
Yeah, we got you a ticket.
Your events just keep getting bigger.
With 2 dinners.
Yeah, so
2 free dinners for you. Well, not free.
But more than anything, I think going back to like servant leadership, I know you'll gain some stuff from it, but I think people would gain a lot from you. And obviously your wife and just family presence being there, but I think that's the leaders we want in the room are the Edwins of the world.
Well, I appreciate that. And like I said, if I didn't have the opportunity the first time to get on your guys' show, I don't think that, at least on the consulting side, I would be, hustling and being where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
Like it's grown. It's like I said, it's street cred from you guys. So, kudos to you guys and thank you to you guys because there's a lot that you guys do on this podcast that can help, all the listeners that are out there too, even if they're not a guest on the show, but listening to people on the show, listening to you guys, going to your event, the takeover, right?
Well, let's combine both, man. Let's get you a software along the way to help you level up your game in the janitorial industry. So hit the link below and then come tell us about it at the event.
Well, because it sounds like we're closing out the podcast. We're not yet.
No,
but,
we're not. He's not going to let this go.
Yeah, I just want to honor you, though, man, because you've been there since day one. Whether you go to the event or not, you've decided to sponsor the podcast. You decided, you've always shouted us out.
I got to be involved with you guys.
Right? We're on your website. And I'm like, oh, my God, that's my face. Just you know what I'm saying? But, it's always been, I call you out of nowhere a lot of the times, and I text you. People don't know that, but there's a few people, I text and I call, or I send someone to. You and Mark Anderson are always in that list.
Even if it's just, I'll get the text from him. He's like, how you doing, brother?
Yeah.
Like out of the blue, puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, he's good.
And our banter's good, and you, great, awesome, bye. It was we don't even but that's okay. That's all we need. Or he'll randomly send me a picture, and he's like, on the lake, when are you coming to Seattle? And I'm like, Seattle, right?
It's outside. It's Lake Chelan, and that invitation's open to both of you, right?
Dude, that boat looks beautiful, dude.
Put me there, man. I'm a lake guy.
He is.
It's a clear lake. It's 70 plus.
No, it looks beautiful.
Summertime.
I could probably find a picture right now.
Do you fish?
I don't fish. Hey,
Vlad, could you get the daughter real quick? Wow,
my kids love to surf.
Oh, nice.
So that's what we do.
Just
awesome.
¿Cómo se llama? What's the name? I'm sorry. I just defaulted to Spanish. I went on reset.
Okay.
What's her? Hey, ¿qué pasó? What's her name?
It's Lilia.
Lilia. She'll know. She'll be like, we're ready for you. She's gonna be like,
how old's Lilia?
She's 12.
12.
No, but dude, she just introduced herself like she was 18. She was very proper. She was like, Lilia, nice to meet you. I'm like, oh shoot. I'm over here trying to.
You guys are gonna kick me out of here, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%.
You're gonna get kicked out, man.
Yeah, and then you'll make your way back. It'll be 3 minutes.
No worries. We'll see how.
All right, come on in. But they say no parents allowed. That's what they said.
Imagine over 300 cleaning executives, all under one roof, ready to connect, collaborate, and build a community. Join your hosts, James Harper and Angel Sandoval, 11 keynote speakers and 8 expert panelists sharing the blueprint to scale your life and business. Head over to event.cleaningprofits.com for all the details. For being listeners, use code CEO30 for a 30% discount. See you there.
Hello.
So
have you ever been in headphone land before?
No.
How does it sound? How do you feel?
It sounds a little weird.
Right? This headphone land is the weirdest thing ever. So, for those that don't know you, introduce yourself.
I'm Lilia Eaton, and my dad's Edwin Eaton.
Nice. Have you do you join him sometimes in the business or like help him out and stuff?
During the summer, I fold rags and like clean around his office.
Nice. What grade are you in?
6th. No, well, I just finished 6th grade.
Gotcha.
I'm going to 7th grade.
Nice.
Already in the business.
I know.
What's one thing you've learned from your mom and your dad watching them run a business?
Like basically math.
There you go.
Like taxes.
Hey, there you go. That's so funny. Your dad was just talking about that.
Did you just say math and taxes?
Yeah.
Those are two of the best things you could learn.
Your dad's number one rule for business was actually know your numbers. So that doesn't surprise me.
Do you like math too?
Kinda.
Yeah. So what is your favorite subject then?
PE.
Hey, there you go.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, mine too. Right.
I did like math a little though.
He's a weirdo.
But not like you probably know more numbers than we ever did in school. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
Do you want to? Is your goal to eventually take over some of the businesses, or do you know what you want to do yet? I mean, I don't know. I didn't know what I wanted to do at 21. So.
Well, I want to be a professional volleyball player.
What?
And I would want to take over Cinch.
Nice.
Eventually.
So not the cleaning side, but Cinch.
Cinch.
Why that?
Well, because it's easy.
Hey, she even went with the...
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Professional volleyball player, real quick. Are you in volleyball right now?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been playing volleyball?
Not very long.
So what sparked the want to do that?
At school, they had like the little volleyball thing, so I did it. And then they have a club, NCW, and I got on the gold team, which is the best team.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And it started from there.
Do you get your athleticism from your mom or from your dad?
My dad.
Yeah, okay.
She's like,
okay.
I don't know how to say this from neither.
All right. I got 2 last questions for you. One, you are a very mature young lady and very brave for coming up on this podcast, so thank you. Who are some of your role models in life?
Outside of parents, can't say parents.
Oh, I was going to let her.
No, because we know. Dude, she's literally a reflection of both of them combined. It's like beautiful to see. But outside of them, who are your role models?
My brother and his fiance.
Oh, wow.
Nice. That's awesome. Why?
Well, because they've been with me basically my whole life since I was really little, and they've just influenced a lot of things.
Nice. I love that. And then
what about outside of immediate family? Do you have any, like, for example, like any people outside? Yeah, like I looked up to a lot of actors, or I looked up to, different things, or any sports, anything like that?
Probably any professional volleyball player that goes to the University of Washington.
Okay.
Is that one of the top schools, or?
Well, that's just a school I want to go to.
She's a future Husky.
Yeah.
You guys should have won.
She's so excited. She's like,
you guys should have won the national championship, but that's a different conversation. I
have one question.
Go for it.
From your parents, what do you admire the most from each of them?
That they're really kind and respectful.
Okay. Kind and respectful, and that they know math apparently,
and taxes.
Yeah, the fact that you said taxes at 12 years old is like
I didn't even know like the word taxes.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was when I was.
My last question to you, if you want to look in that camera right there, if you had one thing to say to your mom and dad on camera because they can't hear you right now.
That's your camera, by the way.
What would you say?
That's yours. So you could
that I love them.
It's very sweet. And
if there's any young people listening to this, maybe they have parents like yours that are entrepreneurs, and I'm sure it's not easy. Sometimes they work late, sometimes they're at home, sometimes they might be stressed. What advice would you give these kids so that they could be supportive of their parents and happy through the process?
Well, like always, like having like a good attitude.
Attitude's it's huge.
So, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing right now to become a professional volleyball player? Sorry, I'm just still with that. That's just like that's very cool. What are you? Since you decided to want to become professional, what have you implemented that you're like, I need to do this?
Well, I practice with my dad a lot, and since volleyball season is over now, we're like doing a lot more practice.
Okay.
And probably since we're up in Chelan a lot, probably like go to the beach. Like they have a beach volleyball court and like play there.
Okay.
Nice.
It's not professional beach volleyball, right? It's okay.
It's just like family.
Yeah. No, but like you want to be a professional because there's professional
like on the court
beach volleyball players, and then there's like full team.
Full team.
Full team. What position do you like?
Outside hitter.
Outside half.
You don't like libero?
I'm too tall for that.
Yeah, I know. You are tall.
You are, yeah.
You must get your height from your mom.
Sure.
She's like, I'm not gonna. Just kidding. No, but that's cool. We're excited. We'll keep in touch with your journey. I'm sure your dad will be showing us, and we'll be. Could you get the dad, by the way, real quick, Vlad? What else? What else would you like to share with the world that maybe we should know about you? Or
no clue.
No clue. Well, hey, you're really brave for jumping on here, and very just like mature and smart young woman. So thank you for joining your dad on this journey.
I have one last question while he's here. What do you think is one thing he could do better? Yeah, right here as he holds your shoulder.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Nah, you answered very good. I can't wait for him to see that segment. But we'll be praying for you. We'll be supporting you from the outside so you can become a professional volleyball player. Most importantly, grow Cinch so that she can take it over, please.
That's her goal.
Yeah, that's she's gonna take it over.
She said because Cinch is easy.
Yeah,
I said, hey, that's good tagline.
Are you already working with Cinch, by the way?
No.
No. Ooh, we gotta get an internship going there. Well, we'll close out with your dad. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Go Huskies.
Thank you for having me.
I know. She knows what she wants out of life. I wish I knew when I was at 12, dude. I feel like I don't know anything. I feel like I barely even know what I want. Thank you. That was cool.
You have a very mature daughter, man.
We can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, she knows what she wants. That was crazy. That was a little wild. You can't hear us? There we go. We could just take it off. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, but you have a very dude. She knows what she wants.
She does. Yeah. She's she'll tell it like it is.
Yeah. Professional volleyball player, University of Washington, take over Cinch. Like she's just like boom, boom, boom. So did you go to the University of Washington?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. There it is. Yeah, that's why.
She knows.
She was poised about it. She was like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. She was like, Huskies. Like,
just surprised she came in and talked to me. I know at her age, I couldn't do it.
No, dude. I was telling him, like, I'm not going to tell you what she answered and other stuff because you're going to love it. Because the answer she gave, both of us were like, what? You think like that at 12 years old? That's freaking crazy. I would have said some dumb, like, I didn't even talk English. I barely knew English at 12. So I would have been like, kid.
You know, she speaks Spanish too, right?
Oh, we should have done it in Spanish.
Yeah.
With James' Spanish, she probably would have done great.
Mi español es muy malo. Yeah.
But we just want to thank you, man, for being here. Really do appreciate you guys. Go to the show notes, hit that Cinch link.
Yep. And
right?
the code there for him.
TPC and the code TPC50. Get 50% off. Take advantage of it. Any last words, any last advice? You can look right at that camera, and that's your camera, and you can give them one final advice.
No, no advice. It's more just me saying thank you to you guys for having the opportunity to be here and to having the opportunity to, plug Cinch, but also talk shop with you guys.
Yeah.
It's always great, and I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. God bless. Go check out Chins. We'll see you on the next one.
And that way he don't play like no way. So I gotta get out.